Big win last night. Huge win last night. Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Booney, one name, all passion. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. I'm from the Bay Area, and I've been a diehard A's fan since '81. This isn't just another A's podcast. This is the most informative and insightful show on the A's, period. We cover the A's every single day, breaking down games, delivering the latest team news, and giving you deep, thoughtful analysis you will not find anywhere else. If it's happening in Sacramento or in Las Vegas, we got you covered. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And do me a favor and hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. Stick around. This is Locked On A's, where we don't just recap wins, we celebrate the fight. What an incredible win last night, and it's always fun doing a show on a Friday with a win on Thursday. And do we have a show in store for you today? Baseball wasn't the only thing going on yesterday. We had some NBA playoffs, but we also had the NFL draft. And when I think of the NFL draft, when I think of the Major League Baseball draft, and you combine that with the A's, there's only one name that should really come to mind for A's fans. Go ahead and say it. Kyler Murray. Let's take a look back at the 2018 MLB draft. That's later. The A's are getting better. They are a better team than we saw in the first 10 games of the year. Where have they gotten better? Where do they need to continue to improve? It has been a common theme for many fan bases and teams to come into an opponent's yard and count the wins before the game even takes place. The Red Sox did it a couple weeks back when they visited Chicago to face the White Sox, and I felt the Rangers did it this last series. I have a few words for you. The A's took 2 of 3 from the Rangers. We will review who did what. First, the biggest win of the early season came last night, and wow, did the A's need it. Sutter Health was cold last night. The stands felt half empty, at least that is what the news outlets told us. And the Rangers trotted out Jacob deGrom like he was going to walk in and big league a bunch of nobodies. Rangers announcers sure thought so, and they should have probably worried about their team instead of where the A's are playing. Action started in the bottom of the third. Gio Urshela continued to swing a hot bat, leading off with the single. Following a Luis Urias K, Lawrence Butler hit what seemed to be a routine fly ball to Wyatt Langford in left field, which he lost in the lights, resulting in a double for Butler. With second and third and one out, and what has become a common theme for the A's, they were not able to get the run home as Jacob Wilson hit into a fielder's choice with a ground ball right back to deGrom. They got Urshela in a rundown and was able to tag him out. Tyler Soderstrom came up with 2 outs and runners on first and third and lined a shot into the right center field gap, coming off the bat at 103.3 to plate Butler and Wilson, giving the A's a 2-0 lead. But Texas answered right back in the fourth with a 3-homer barrage. Jung, Heim, and Taveras all went yard in a blink of an eye. Texas turned a 2-0 A's lead into a 3-2 gut punch. It felt like the script was playing out like it has so far in the early season with the A's. They cannot get the close ones. From there, both bullpens traded zeros like heavyweight jabs. For the A's, it was Hogan Harris, Noah Murdoch, and Grant Holman, all unsung heroes. They didn't blink. They held the 2023 World Series champs scoreless the rest of the way. and that gave the Bats one final shot in the ninth. The Rangers brought in their closer, Luke Jackson, thinking they could just mop us up. Miguel Andujar led off with a ground out. But then Max Schumann, that man, I've talked about him all off season and the intangibles he brings. The at-bat he had with one out in the ninth won the game. He earned a walk. It was an unbelievable at-bat. He did it last year. When he's had the opportunity to get it done this year, he's been there. And that's when things started to stir. Luis Urias, who's been coldish at the plate as of late, was held hitless coming into his at-bat in the ninth, laced a single into center. Tavares tried to play it on the run and booted it. Schumann never stopped running. Tie game. Sutter Health going nuts. Now with the game knotted and Urias on second, Jacob Wilson 0 for 4 for the night. 2 outs. And what does he do? My man. He sends a rocket into center. Urias scores standing. The A's swarm the field, jackets flying, gloves sky high, fans screaming like it's 72 again. Ball game. Why it matters. This wasn't just a win. It was a message. The A's didn't just beat the Rangers. They outlasted them, out-toughed them, outplayed them in the clutch. They chased Jacob deGrom out in the sixth. They survived a 3-homer inning. And when it was time to be clutch, they came up huge. They fought. They had some swagger and had absolutely zero fear. While the media and former A's fans are still talking about how attendance is struggling in Sacramento, the guys in the green and gold are just stacking wins. The A's have turned the page, and if you're not watching, you're missing one hell of a story. Final score, A's 4, Rangers 3. This may be a minor league ballpark, but last night this team showed a lot of heart, and they showed the whole league that you might want to stop sleeping on the A's. Let's go through the series numbers. Lawrence Butler, 3 for 13, 2 homers, 4 Ks. Brett Rooker, 2 for 9 with a bomb. Soderstrom, 3 for 12, 2 doubles, 2 big hits last night. Shea Langoliers, 5 of 13. Bleday, 3 of 11, 5 Ks. Miguel Andujar, 3 for 7. Jacob Wilson, 2 for 12 with the clutch hit last night. Urshela had a big series, 5 for 8. Luis Urias, 3 for 11. Nick Kurtz in his first 2 games of his career, 1 for 6. Seth Brown went 1 for 3 last night with a double coming off his bat at 111.3 miles per hour. The hardest hit ball of the night, and I believe the series. I would love to get a hot Seth Brown going. Bullpen was awesome. I mean, last night alone, Hogan Harris and Grant Holman, after just getting called up, go 4 innings of no-hit ball. Amazing. Noah Murdoch was great in his 1 inning. JT Ginn got hit hard in the 4th, but he battles, and he will continue to do so every time he steps on the mound. The kid's a competitor. You want to hear some video game numbers? I'm going to tell you. Tyler Ferguson, Justin Sterner, and Mason Miller this year. Check this out. 31 innings, 43 strikeouts, 16 hits allowed, 12 walks, 1 earned run. The A's are getting better. This is a better team than we were. Luis Urias is an upgrade to Max Muncy. Sure, Max Muncy is going to be a hell of a player. No question about it. He's young. Let him get some at-bats in the minor leagues. Gio Urshela is starting to hit. Grant Holman is a huge upgrade to Leclerc. Butler and Rooker are better than they were. Soderstrom and Wilson have both cooled off, but are still delivering. Shea Langoliers had a big Wednesday night. Miguel Andujar has been amazing. Nick Kurtz has brought some energy. With that all being said, this team is not close to playing the baseball they are capable of. That is what's scary. The togetherness is still not there. The hustle is not there. Playing hard isn't consistent. Blade hasn't even been close to what he is capable of. And the concern in the offseason and still now is starting pitching. Severino has had great outings, but we need consistency. Jeffrey Springs hasn't been great. Lastly, I don't want to hear about where we play anymore, but rather who they play for. And who they play for should be and always be each other. When they get to that point, this team will take the next step. We're not there yet, and that's okay. It's early. We're still trying to find ourselves. This was a great win last night. This may be a minor league ballpark, but last night this team showed a lot of heart, and they showed the whole league again that you may not want to sleep on the A's. Speaking of the rest of the league, you better start putting some respect on the A's name when you speak of them. Up next. Did you know Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired control, subscribe or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you are ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College 2025 to Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and Avowed as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. With Wi-Fi 6 and 6E and auto low latency mode advanced technology, Fire TV Stick 4K delivers smoother, more responsive gameplay with lightning fast speeds you need to stay competitive. With 4K streaming, watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and more. Play high-quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. Already have a console? A Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with, allowing you to take your games wherever you plug in. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. There's a golden rule in sports: never assume anything. And yet, big market teams, their fan bases, and worse, their broadcast booths continue to walk into matchups with the arrogance of a frat bro who thinks he's acing the test he didn't study for. They disrespect the opponent, overlook the scoreboard, and end up face first in the dirt, wondering what just hit them. Let's start with the Boston Red Sox, who strutted into Chicago a couple weeks back like they were headed to a coronation, not a 3-game series. Their announcers practically counting wins before the anthem finished playing, talking about how the Red Sox should sweep the lowly White Sox like this was a AAA exhibition. But baseball isn't a movie script. The White Sox, one of the worst teams on paper, promptly stole 2 of 3, embarrassing Boston with gritty play and timely pitching. That's not a fluke. That's what happens when you disrespect the game and your opponent. Then there's the Texas Rangers. You'd think the 2023 champs, headed by Bruce Bochy, would know better, but nope. They rolled into Sacramento to face the A's, acting like it was a scheduled spa day. Their broadcast team couldn't help but take cheap shots at the A's ballpark situation, like they were recording a Yelp review instead of calling a game. Here's a wild thought, Texas. How about you focus on your own imploding bullpen and inconsistent offense before throwing shade at a team that just handed you 2 losses in 3 days? Because that team you keep disrespecting, the one with the small payroll you love to mock, that's the A's. a team that's made the playoffs 11 times since the year 2000. 9 World Series championships in their storied history. The 11 playoff appearances since 2000? Yeah, that's more than the Mariners. That's more than the Mets. That's more than the Phillies. And yeah, more than the Rangers. In fact, that's 7th most in all of Major League Baseball over that span. You want to talk about success? The A's are one of the most winning franchises in the history of the game. Look it up. It's not even close. It's easy to fixate on payroll numbers and stadium politics when you're too lazy to do real analysis. But while you're busy mocking where the A's play, they're handing your team L's and developing the kind of homegrown talent your overpriced roster wishes it had. Respect isn't bought with $1 billion stadium or a flashy free agent signing. It's earned on the field. And right now, yeah, the A's are earning it, one upset at a time. So here's the message, loud and clear. Stop worrying about our payroll and start worrying about your own. Because every time you look past the team in front of you, you're giving them an edge. And in baseball, that's often all they need. Disrespect the game, and the game will punch you in the mouth. Just ask Boston. Just ask Texas. Actually, ask them both after they are done icing their bruises. We got the White Sox coming to town, and we need to have the same sense of urgency we showed last night, or they will be reversing the script on us. While most people were not watching the A's game last night, they were probably watching something else, like the NFL draft. And anytime the NFL draft comes up, it gives me a flashback to the 2018 Major League Baseball draft where the A's took Kyler Murray, number 9 overall. Let's revisit that draft up next. Did the A's make a mistake in 2018, or was it a calculated swing worth taking? Let's start with the truth most A's fans don't want to hear. Kyler Murray never played an inning of professional baseball, and the A's will almost certainly get nothing of value from using the number 9 overall pick in 2018 on him. It's a gut punch, the unvarnished reality. But here's the more complicated layer follow-up. Was it a mistake, a wasted pick, or a bold, calculated swing that just didn't connect? I've wrestled with this question for nearly 7 years, and the answer isn't as clean as you might expect. The facts? The A's took a shot on the star. In 2018, the A's weren't picking a gimmick. They weren't chasing clicks or jersey sales. Kyler Murray was a legit top 10 baseball prospect. Explosive speed, real pop at the plate, elite center field instincts. He wasn't just good, he had tools. And as far as the A's knew, he was committed to baseball. His agent, Scott Boras, said it. Murray said it. The team even had it in writing that he'd report to baseball activities after finishing out his fall football obligations. That's how they justified the $4.66 million signing bonus. That's how they justified the risk. What the A's couldn't predict. Kyler Murray detonating the college football world with a Heisman winning season, becoming the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft, and finding himself on the doorstep of generational quarterback money. This wasn't just a backup quarterback deciding to walk away from baseball. This was a future face of an NFL franchise being handed the keys and tens of millions of dollars. What went wrong? Well, you can't call it bad luck if there were warning signs, and there were some. Murray wanted to keep playing football at Oklahoma even after the draft. That should have triggered a full-blown internal risk analysis. The A's gambled that a $4.66 million check and a handshake with Scott Boras would be enough to hold Murray's attention. That looks laughable in hindsight. The moment he started shredding Big 12 defenses, the clock started ticking on his baseball future. Even worse, Once he declared for the NFL Combine in 2019, the A's response felt panicked. They flew Billy Beane, David Forst, MLB marketing reps, and union suits to beg him to stick with baseball. That's not a flex, that's desperation. This was a billion-dollar league scrambling to convince a 21-year-old to choose long bus rides over private jets. You know how that ends. But was it a wasted pick? On the surface, yes. The A's got zero WAR, zero appearances, zero trade value. They had other options still on the board, including Alec Boehm, the number 3 overall pick, starting third baseman; Jonathan India, the number 5 pick, rookie of the year winner; Logan Gilbert, number 14 pick, legit top of the rotation starter; Jordan Groshans, Tristan Casas, Nico Horner, all went later, all contributed at the big league level. But here's the other side of the coin. You don't hit home runs without swinging hard. In a draft where most first rounders don't become stars, the A's were trying to snag a franchise-altering athlete. And if Murray had chosen baseball, we are talking about a 5-tool freak in center field who might have changed the A's fortunes. In that sense, the pick wasn't reckless, it was bold, and bold doesn't always work out. What is the legacy of the Kyle Murray pick? This is the sting. The A's didn't just lose the pick, they lost the narrative. They thought they were ahead of the curve, scooping a transcendent athlete who would elevate the brand. But instead of becoming Oakland's Bo Jackson, Murray became a cautionary tale. And yet, for being honest, really honest, you can't crush them for taking the shot. They followed the information they had. They believed the commitment. They were playing for upside in a game that's often a crapshoot. So was it worth it? Well, in hindsight, no. In context, maybe. In principle, yes. Because if you want to win in Oakland, a low revenue club constantly swinging upstream, you have to be willing to take swings that other teams won't. The A's bet on the upside of a generational athlete, knowing full well the risk. The pick didn't pan out. That doesn't mean the decision was wrong. If anything, the Murray pick reminds us of something more important than regret. Sometimes swinging for the fences gets you nothing but air, but not swinging at all guarantees you will never leave the on-deck circle. In the grand tapestry of sports, Kyler Murray's journey serves as a reminder of the unpredictability of talent and ambition. The A's may not have reaped immediate rewards from their draft pick, but they dared to dream big, a hallmark of any great sports franchise. And in that spirit, perhaps their choice was not wasted after all, but rather an emblem of what it means to take bold chances in the pursuit of greatness. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB, on YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcast.